There seems to be no shortage of disturbing things that can be found online, whether that be in the form of unnerving imagery, the silence of the unpredictable, or simply a really creepy video that will keep you up for the rest of the night. And while for the most part these horrors have lied on more obscure parts of the internet, hidden in forums, or only accessible by searching certain key terms into YouTube. However, it seems that with the ever-growing pace of the internet, these horrors are becoming easier and easier to come by, and Instagram has become somewhat of a hub to find accounts dedicated to ruining your sleep schedule. So join me as we take a dive into some deeply disturbing Instagram accounts.
I've been waiting. I've been waiting. I missed you so much.
Hey everyone, it's Wama and I hope you are doing well, and in today's video I did want to take a dive into some pretty disturbing Instagram accounts that I found just kind of floating around Instagram. Some of these are pretty disturbing while others are just flat out bizarre, so be prepared to go to some pretty strange places as this video goes, I don't know, pretty dark. But before we begin, as always, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well as liking the video and commenting bruh as usual, because all these things really do help me out a lot and we can keep going on these deep dives together. Thanks. And yeah, with that out of the way, let's get into it. Also, GEARISKO is going to be hopping on this video as well, so that's pretty awesome. And yeah, let's start. So this first account is actually the reason that I wanted to make this video, because while I was on Reels pretty late at night as any other person, after a couple of mind-numbing videos, this one appeared in my feed. And honestly, at first, the video took me by surprise because this is definitely not the kind of video I would get in my feed. The video states, "Me and the girl I randomly got close to this year." And honestly, it felt like a very middle school kind of post, and I was definitely just about to scroll, but I don't know, I stayed a little bit too long. And then this happened. Because about 3 seconds into the video, it's definitely the complete opposite of what's advertised in the first couple of seconds of the video. The video stating, "You have me. I've been waiting for you to notice me from the shadows. She'll never appreciate you like I do. You're mine, forever. You'll never feel fear or loneliness again." The message is unnerving to say the least, not to mention the jump scare that this video gives you right off the bat. Needless to say, my curiosity was piqued. And going over to the account, you'll find a compilation of videos all following a very similar theme as that first video we encountered. What starts off as a cutesy post quickly shifts into a hidden message hiding in the latter end of the video.
I have a gift for you. It's a cupcake. I added a smile. I hope you like it. Are you happy?
In the first post on the account, it's simply a picture of some wild roses that have begun to bloom. There is no description accompanying the photo, nor are there any photos posted alongside this one. There is, however, something pretty interesting about this post, one that not even I saw at first until I went into the comments. So just for a brief second, I do want you guys to take a very long look at this image and see if you can find anything that's out of the ordinary. I'll give you about 10 seconds, so do your best. Now, if you were able to find it, that's honestly pretty impressive, and honestly, I don't really believe you. But if you zoom into the bottom left side of the image where the road begins to show, sitting there is a QR code that's just barely visible. Now, I did try my hardest to try and scan what this QR code could possibly link you to, but honestly, it is very blurry and too blurry to even scan. I did also try putting the image in Photoshop to try to make the code a little bit more scannable as well, but honestly it was just a failed effort. Also, if you do go into the comments of this post, some people agree that the QR code is too blurry to scan and it's just not salvageable at all. Nonetheless, following this image, the account would begin to post a series of videos containing these disturbing messages. The account would then post this photo thanking viewers for 40,000 quote happy people. We took a group picture to show how happy we are for every single one of you to join us. We are happy. Are you? Comment what you are happy about. And going into the comments, someone replied, "I'm not a dark shadow creature. Can I still be happy?" The account responding, "One day." In the next post, it says, "This is how beautiful you are." That is until cutting to this very disturbing face speaking directly to you.
You haven't been ignoring me. Right. Don't worry. I've never left. Who do you think are the voices in your head? I'll give you everything you want. My darling.
And this video does seem like a way for the entity to get inside of your head, a way to distract you from the seemingly endless content you've been consuming. It reminds me a lot of The Matrix or even The Truman Show, where the entity is sitting just outside of the box of your reality, trying to reach you, breaking the mundanity of the reels you've been watching to try and get in contact with you. In the next video, it's this countdown that is honestly just pretty disturbing on its own. The words "Are you still there?" flash on screen, as well as words like detox, failure, and I want to be normal, and the voices inside your head are real.
It's time. It's been long enough. Don't you think?
But yeah, in terms of any cohesive story that's going on here, that's pretty much up for speculation, as for the most part these videos do kind of take that approach of easing you into a sense of security before scaring the absolute bejesus out of you when you least expect it. Okay, for this next account, it's called La Zona Inquietante. It's kind of hard to pronounce. The entire account is pretty much dedicated to ruining any ounce of sleep you might try and get. As if you were just scrolling reels in the middle of the night and just happened to come across one of these videos, they'd be sure to disturb you enough to keep you up for the rest of the night at least.
Chicos, son las 3 de la mañana, estoy escuchando ruidos súper extraños en el primer piso. Si quieres asesinarme, solo aplaude. Chicos, son las 3 de la mañana, estoy escuchando ruidos súper extraños en el primer piso. Si quieres asesinarme, solo aplaude.
Also, I don't know what it is about reels, but for some reason when it does start getting pretty late, it just starts feeding me all this sort of stuff, which is kind of messed up, but like also kind of good because then I can show you guys. As there isn't really a set theme to this channel other than compiling every piece of disturbing footage the account owner can find and delivering it to your feed. In one video, it features an image of a clown that has been put through AI software to bring the haunting image to life. Now, honestly, I'm not really a fan of AI generated content, but I would be lying if I didn't say that this video is pretty messed up. In the description of the video, it states, "Te gustan los payasos?" which is Spanish for "Do you like clowns?" In another post, there's this video that is supposed footage of an entity spotted in someone's home. The text saying, Este video fue el primero que compartí en el 2029. Hoy, 5 años después, seguimos con lo mismo. Which, when translated, does say, this video was the first we filmed back in 2019. Now, 5 years later, it's still happening.
Otra vez se está mamando con la puerta del puto amor. Me desperto porque escuché como que algo pegaba. Ni siquiera hay puto aire, no se mueve la cortina. Chequen cómo no cabe nadie ahí.
Now, honestly, I am pretty skeptical about this video considering that this has been supposedly going on for 5 years now, which I feel like after the first couple of times of witnessing this sort of behavior happening in your home, you would either get a priest or do something about it at least, or move if possible. I'm not entirely sure if priests charge you for, cleansings. I would hope not. But going deeper into this account, there are some even more horrifying videos, far surpassing this last one, such as this video that I am definitely going to have to blur out. Now, the video does appear to be edited. I don't think this is actually real, but it's still pretty disturbing to look at, and just for the sake of, in case this is real and, YouTube, I will be heavily blurring it. Because in the video, a man is seen sitting on what seems to be a hospital bed, although when he begins to cough, his entire stomach inflates, revealing a huge tumor in his body.
And now cough. Okay. And now cough.
Now, being completely frank, this account gave me whiplash more than anything when I was going through these posts, because there are these disturbing videos and then in another post it'll just be a Minecraft video, and going even further down into the account there's like these weird conspiracy posts as well about the Illuminati, Diddy conspiracies, and then in this other post it's this really distasteful corn post of Mama Coco from Disney. Like, what? I honestly didn't even click it because I wanted to spare my eyeballs. And once you begin to pass these other posts, when you go further down, there's even posts featuring a lot of body horror. I'm obviously not going to be going into that because I'm not even sure how that surpassed Instagram's user guidelines. But if you do go far enough, you'll start seeing stuff like the skin of the bottom of a person's foot completely peeled off, and this really disturbing photo of a toy of Sandy from SpongeBob SquarePants stuffed into a box. I don't know what this toy was used for, but honestly, I think I can make a guess. Just some pretty gross stuff the further down you go.
Imagine for a second that you walk in a museum of internet horror. What do you think you'd see? Maybe in one section you'd see a bunch of creepypasta like Ben Drowned in 1999. Perhaps you'd walk into the analog horror section to browse the different exhibits covering things like Local 58 and the Walton Files. Other possible sections could be for things like r/no sleep, digital horror, or disturbing online art. Now take all of that imagery and condense it into an Instagram page. What you get may look something like Most Uncle QN. Now I know what you're thinking. Why does your mic sound like that? Look, it's just what I have right now, okay? Can we stay on topic? You also may be thinking that this page truly does look like a collection of some of the darkest horror imagery the internet has to offer. This is 100% true, and despite the lack of credit, which I am not at all a fan of, I love the idea of having an archive page of sorts that compiles horror images and videos from across the internet. Pages like this genuinely can serve a really amazing purpose that I think a lot of people don't consider. I've recognized works from so many creators that I enjoy, like Vibing Leaf, Trevor Henderson, and Dr. Nowhere. Some of these images I also recognize as being spread around so much on horror pages and forums that I genuinely have zero idea what the origins are anymore. Some of these images are even nostalgic, calling me back to certain moments in my life when I first experienced these things. I don't know, I just think that's really cool. But anyway, I guess I should go back to my channel and try to fix my upload schedule. Thanks for having me on.
And this Instagram account is home to some pretty unnerving imagery. The first post onto the account is simply this image of a face that is barely visible, accompanied by this really creepy ambience playing in the background. And going through the account, well, I'm not entirely sure which of these are original to the account and which ones are not, as there are also a lot of analog horror images of series that we've covered in the past as well posted onto here. The entire Instagram account, for the most part, takes the premise of compiling the most unnerving images they can find and posting them for their morbidly curious audience. So I do want to include the creepiest posts that I could find from this account on here. The first being this video of what appears to be some sort of entity whose complexion is completely white. Their eyes are blacked out, and at the end of the video they just sit there staring at you. And honestly, just from the first couple of seconds of this video, you can kind of tell what Instagram comments are going to be on this one. I'm going to include one because it's in Spanish, and if you want to translate it, you can, but it says "Ya casi acabo." That's also a pretty common theme on a lot of these Instagram accounts. It's like people just being incredibly enamored, I guess, by a lot of the images on here, which I don't know if they're messing around. In a following post, it's pretty self-explanatory, but there's just something really off about it. It gave me a really creepy feeling, especially when I did see it originally at night. It follows this short little horror story about two dogs. One of the dogs wakes up in the middle of the night. It's around 3 in the morning, and there's something happening. And so he wakes up his friend Enoch. Enoch, wake up. But it's not morning yet. Get up. Old man, what? Listen. And it's then when we can hear the screams of a human blaring from inside the woods. They're all around us. The last video from this account that I did want to include in this one is what appears to be a showcase for an old PS1 horror game. The video has no description, and someone even asked if this was a real game, although they received no response. So all we're left with is this video of a dark world that may never be explored. The next video on the list goes by the name of Nadis HideNet 175. When we take a look at this account, not only are the videos pretty disturbing to watch, but there's also something pretty uncanny about these videos as well. I'll play a few clips and I'll let you try and see if you can notice the pattern. For a lot of these videos, they are using original images and using AI to bring them to life, particularly when it comes to these two videos. This one featuring a clown sitting on a swing set, then a video of what appears to be a man being injected by pikes in his mouth. Low-key though, that's kind of how I felt the last time I went to the dentist. You know how when they like drill the plaque off your teeth? I had plaque, I know, kind of embarrassing. But they were drilling, it felt like they were drilling my entire tooth off, and I was I felt like I was shaking. That's kind of how I felt. So it's like when you go to the dentist. I've been up for too long. The account itself also seems to have this fixation of faces, featuring some faces of dolls, a man with mutilated eyeballs, and then there's this image of what's left of a person after screaming in agony. However, one of the creepiest images featured on this account, I'm not even sure how this one got past the guidelines as well. I feel like that's a pretty common theme for a lot of these accounts, because in the photo, it's a man with their head completely just off. I will obviously be censoring this one as well. Now the image does appear to be, I think, drawn. It's pretty blurry and I don't think it's an actual person, but in the off chance it is, and also it's pretty messed up to look at, I will be heavily blurring this photo as well. And also, while we're on the topic of gore type of content, I do want to kind of put a little bit of a PSA here. I'm sure you guys know this already, but if you do kind of feel that itch to look this kind of stuff up, I would highly advise you not to, especially if you're younger. It's a very terrifying thing to do, not only to see the victims of these images, but it's really bad for your mental health as well. When I was a teenager, I did fall down this rabbit hole and it definitely did a nerve on me. So yeah, please stay away from that sort of stuff. I also know that there's that whole thing with the AI minion stuff on TikTok. If you haven't heard about it, Tuv made a very good video on it. I think I might cover it as well, just to address internet safety, because I know you guys might have younger cousins or siblings that use TikTok as well. So it's pretty important to be aware of what can possibly be on there. But yeah, sorry to get a little bit serious, but yeah, that pretty much does it for this video. Huge shout out to GEARISKO for hopping on this one as well. That's my homie, and we also did a follow-up video on his channel exploring some more disturbing Instagram accounts, so be sure to head over there and check that one out as well. And yeah, I do want to give a huge shout out to all of my beautiful channel members, as well as my ultimate tiers, Kareem Ariano and Alejandra from the Tower. If you want early access to videos as well as to support me, it's only $1.99. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you later. Get some rest. Love ya. Bye.